My name is Colin Varanyak. We're here at City Heights Skate Park. I'm going to teach you guys how to do a tail whip for our BMX. Probably Chase DeHart. He's honestly got the most stylish whips. I do my tail whips completely different than him. He does them really downside, kicks it, lays the bike down. Super steezy. Definitely makes him look amazing. Like a year to 2 years, honestly. Like I was like, would start messing with him, and then I literally landed tail whips one-footed for a year. Like a full year of like just catching him with 1 foot. It's insane. I like couldn't mentally get there. Yeah, honestly, if you're gonna learn tail whips, I highly recommend wearing ankle guards and shin guards. Like once you get them a little bit more dialed, you know what to do to avoid that. Even still, I still get shinner sometimes, it happens. So I highly recommend wearing shin pads, wearing ankle protection. That's a good question. I like to do tail whips all the time. If I like take a really bad shinner, if my ankles are feeling weird, like that's like a full body, full effort trick. So if you're not feeling prime, like there's definitely days where I won't do tail whips, but I don't know, I try to do them all the time. They're just really fun. So when learning a tail whip, I like to break it up into 3 steps. You have your kick, which is initially getting the tail whip going. Then you have the whip portion where you're moving your arms. This is mostly upper body, getting the rotation of the tail whip, and then the catch. That's having your feet in the right position and pulling the bike into your feet. I notice I said pulling the bike into your feet. A lot of times when you're learning tail whips, your first reaction is when you get that kick and you start to whip, you're gonna wanna try to jump to your bike. But if you were to do that, you would land off balance and you're never really gonna get there. You actually have to physically bring the whip back into your feet. We'll talk about that more once we get to the catch section. So for the kick, I think the best way to learn this trick is like finding some type of fly out, whether this is like a dirt lip or a quarter pipe or a box jump lip, something to give you enough air time to kind of get a feeling and emotion of the tail whip without having any consequence. The first thing you want to do is just kind of start kicking some tail whips. You're going to want to like learn how to get rid of the bike, use your back leg while lifting your front leg up off of the bike. You want to make sure to get that out of the way so your bike doesn't hit it. It's getting that initial front leg out of the way and then using your back leg to start kicking the bike. Simultaneously, while you're kicking with your back leg, you're gonna start using your arms to initiate the rotation of the tail whip. Some people can tail whip with barely any kick, right? They can use their arms almost in its entirety to get the rotation of the tail whip. I like to give it a little kick to make sure I don't get the dead whip. And the dead whip is when you try to kick a tail whip and it gets stuck. It's probably one of the worst feelings. You want to avoid that. So you want to get a nice solid kick. But as you're kicking, you really want to focus on your arms because this is the whip portion of the tail whip. You got to use your arms. It's all the tail whips are like majority arms. It's getting the whip going, getting your feet out of the way, using your arms to get the rotation of the tail whip, and then having your feet ready to catch the whip when it comes back in. And you can practice this motion, this tail whip motion, on your back. When you're laying on your back, you can kick some tail whips and learn how to whip in. Honestly, learning tail whips on your back, I think is one of the best ways to get the feeling for how the tail whip works. You can practice them at home when you're bored or just in your front lawn or even at the skate park when you're warming up for them. This will give you an idea of how to kick it, get the rotation, and set your feet up for the catch. Now for the catch portion of the tail whip. I like to stop the bike stop the bike in the air and then get my feet set and then land. To me, that's like the most controlled way to do a tail whip. It helps so much with impact. But the main thing with the catch is just having your feet set up for the bike to come into your feet. Just having that leg out in front as the bike is coming back in, as you're pulling the whip back in, and you really need to actually physically pull the bike into your leg. You want to think about pulling the bike into your leg. I like to catch right around like my bottom tube of my frame and my foot. Sometimes I actually turn my foot a little outside so I get the heel, kind of to keep myself from messing my feet up if I get like a really hard catch. But I like to get the back foot on as quick as I can. I think the back foot is very important for tail whips, especially if you're catching with your front foot, because and you ride without brakes, that's really gonna help stabilize the bike. If you just like kind of pretend that the ground is lava and that if you touch the ground, your feet are gonna burn, that, just putting that in your brain and being, okay, my feet, I can't let my feet touch the ground. So I think if you're having issues with the commitment part of it, that's a little technique that I do that has helped me in the past. So kind of just thinking about it like, okay, I can't touch the ground right now. If I touch the ground, my feet will literally burn. And that's pretty much it. That's how you tail whip.